Alright guys, we are here for episode number 13 of the F1 2015 Pro Season Mode Championship. This is round number 13 here for the Singapore Grand Prix. As you can see, we've got a fully drenched track here for qualifying 1. Hopefully the weather can dissipate tomorrow for the race, because I've had this long-running joke that 100% race around Singapore in heavy rain is the absolute worst thing that you can do on any F1 game. It's going to make the race extend to over 2 hours or something like that, if the time limit doesn't intervene. But yeah, anyway, here we are, ready for this Grand Prix. I decided to just sit out the first part of qualifying, just observe how the AI were handling. As you can see, Romain Grosjean, he lost his front wing on the approach to turn 3, and just watched him fail his way back to the pits. So we've let about 10 minutes pass in the session. I was waiting for the track to possibly get a little bit better, but unfortunately the rain is still really heavy. So we're continuing to set some laps here. I was just building my pace. Just remember, guys, that this update now, there's been a recent update to Xbox and I believe PS4 a few months ago. There is now strict corner cutting rules now. So as you can see, I was trying to test, what was being allowed in qualifying, whether my laps were getting disallowed or not. I think one got disallowed earlier on, so I'm just trying to continue to move forward and continue to move the marker higher in terms of my lap time. So we've got a minute and a half left in qualifying. I'm continuing to try and improve because the time at the moment is not good enough. I think we're in the P15 at the moment, so I'm looking to try and improve that. I'm literally right on the bubble here. As we come across the line, we don't improve. So we've stayed P15. That is the last safe position in qualifying. And as we come to the end of the session, I think we have just made it into Q2. Only just. If we would have lost any more positions, now we would have got knocked out in Q1 there. So that was very, very lucky there for us. The pace, obviously in the wet, is not there at the moment. I tried a few setups in practice, and the best one that I could come up with was a no setup, so the engineer's setup. So I'm not too sure how that's affected my performance here, but clearly at the moment we're just not on the pace at the moment. It's really frustrating. I'm trying to push, but the car is just, the track is, it's not letting me. There's no grip at the moment, so I've just got to make do with what I have, and unfortunately it's just not on the pace with the leaders at the moment. So with that last lap, we didn't improve. We're continuing to march forward with our laps here and just struggling to keep this thing on the track. The back end losses, running wide. There's just no residual grip in the track, and unfortunately that was our last chance, and we didn't end up getting in a lap there. So we've been knocked out in Q2. Daniel Ricciardo tops Q2. So unfortunately I don't know what happens in Q3, but we'll have to wait and see once we grid up to the race. Lewis Hamilton ends up in P15. He has been disqualified for parking in a dangerous location. So he'll be starting behind us in the Singapore Grand Prix. Very crucial as well. He's 27 points in front of us in the championship. Any points now over him will be crucial. It's time for the Singapore Grand Prix. What? How have we been given a 3-place grid penalty? Was that? I didn't even have any penalties displayed at the end of qualifying. That's outrageous. We're starting even further down the field now. We've got a lot more work to do because we need to get in front of Hamilton. He is 27 points in front of us in the championship. So we just got to go all guns blazing in this race and try and pick up as many positions as we can. So race strategy, nothing really going on there. So let's go to the start of this race, and away we go for the Singapore Grand Prix. A good start is crucial. Into turn 1, we'll see how many positions we can gain. Hopefully the AI are going a little bit slow up the inside of Vettel and Hamilton. Hamilton is now behind us, and it looks like we're into P15, possibly 14 or even 13 as we pick up a few more positions into turn 3. So it's been a good start. We're in front of Hamilton, we're in front of Vettel, two key championship rivals, and now we just got to continue to move forward because the likes of Raikkonen and Rosberg are way out in front. and I'm not too sure about my pace, but as many positions as we can gain, you know, the more it's going to help us in this championship. So up the inside of a Force India, we ran wide a little bit there, locked up the inside front. There's just no grip at the moment, so I missed the braking point a little bit, and that was almost deadly for me there. The end of lap 1 now, we've caught up to the back of a McLaren Honda, making sure we don't cut any corners here, because any slightest cut will result in a penalty. So heading into turn 1, we'll go up the inside of Alonso there, and we are into the points now, I believe. I think it's position 9, so we're looking very good at the start of this race. We need to continue to move forward and try and get as many points over Hamilton as what we can. So next up, I believe it's a Toro Rosso. Not too sure who it is. It may be Verstappen, as he was the lead Toro Rosso at the end of qualifying. So continuing to find my feet here, trying to get a balance of the car and just trying to build my confidence, I suppose, as we get through this race. I was very conservative through qualifying, and that really showed in my grid position. I really wasn't willing to push the boundaries, and in this race I feel like I'm more inclined to push. So we'll see how this goes. We may end up with a few penalties, but we'll have to wait and see. It's a very long race, just got to minimize those mistakes. So following this Toro Rosso through the middle sector, we may lunge him up the inside into this slow hairpin corner. It does present an opportunity. We're up the inside, Verstappen is on our outside there, and I believe he'll try and pass us back up the inside into this next right-hander. There he goes. He's got better traction out of that corner, and we're going to try and hang it right around the outside here through this right-hander, and it looks like it's worked. Very good move there. I'll take that. As you can see on the replay here, this is us around the outside of Verstappen. I wanted to go to the inside, but I thought, no, I'll just hang it right around the outside, and it's just worked out for us there into P8.
Perez ahead. The gap is 5 seconds. We're dropping back by around 4/10 a lap. 48 laps to go. Heavy rain to stay a while. Doesn't look like it's moving anytime soon.
So you join us now around lap 10. I'm continuing to march forward if I can. It looks like there's a few cars in front of me who are fairly quick, and it's just my consistency that sort of lets me down at the moment. I'm the same pace as Perez, who's right in front of me, but I just keep making these tiny little mistakes, so it's a little bit frustrating. There is a small group of cars forming behind me, and as you can see, this is Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel in approximately P16, P17, stuck behind 2 Lotus cars. So it's very crucial to see that those 2 cars can't overtake in the wet. There's no DRS for them to make these moves. And now this is a little bit later on in the race. I was just randomly looking at the spectator cam, and I seen a Manor beached into a wall there. So that was quite interesting. Unfortunately, I couldn't see what the cause was of that, but I'm guessing maybe just a lack of grip. The track, I can't stress this enough. The track was so slippery and so hard to drive. This is almost one of the toughest races I've ever driven on an F1 game. That's how hard it is. Just trying not to cut the corners, trying to keep the cars behind me, and you know, just trying to not damage my front wing or anything. So now this is approximately lap 40. We've switched on to a set of intermediate tyres, and the cars behind me have already made 2 stops. That's because there was a recommended pit stop window of about lap 30, but I remember to an older career mode season on F1 2015 where you could almost do the entire race on a set of wets, so I was thinking maybe I could get away with no stops, but then the rain started to ease up a little bit, and it made a switch to inters pretty much perfect. So this has resulted in me doing 1 less stop, and because of that, Perez was only 10 seconds in front of me. We've essentially jumped him through 1 less stop, so we made the right strategy call here. We're continuing to march forward in this race. You can see the track is now getting even drier now, and we're coming in for a set of option tyres now. So we'll see how the pace is in the dry. Hopefully we're a little bit better. There was only 1 session this weekend where it was dry, and that was in practice 1. I believe I was about 12th or something like that, but I only used primes, whereas everyone else was using options. So I'm not too sure how the pace is going to be. I admit I don't think we're going to have the pace of the leaders, but we'll have to wait and see. They are a long way in front of us. I believe 20 or 30 seconds. That's how far in front the leaders are. Meanwhile, here's Sergio Perez with a set of option tyres, and DRS flies straight back past us again. So that confirms the pace, even now, isn't that great. We're just trying to use our consistency and using a little bit of strategy to get us forward in this race. And I think we're going to make a move possibly into this left-hander, just like we did to Verstappen very early on in the race. We get up the inside and we got in front of him there. So nice move there. We'll continue to march forward if we can. This is a Manor getting lapped. Once again, I'm not too sure if it was the one that spun earlier on. But hopefully he can get out of the way very quickly. I must mention that Rosberg is leading this race. Raikkonen is in second. And who else is in third? I believe it's Bottas. Yes, it is. So that's the order. Ricciardo in fourth, Massa in fifth, and there is myself in P6. You can see there that Hamilton has moved up drastically ever since the rain cleared up. It's allowed for much better overtaking, and the likes of Hamilton and Vettel are moving forward. You can see he's putting pressure now on Sergio Perez. So that means Hamilton is right behind me now. It didn't take him long to dispatch a Perez, and now he's going to try and make a move on me up the inside into the middle sector, and he's cut the corner. He cut the corner into that left-hander. I wonder if he's got a penalty of some kind, because the strict corner cutting rules mean that the players can't put more than 4 wheels over the track, otherwise they get a penalty. So if this penalty system is going to be consistent, then Hamilton needs to get a penalty too. So we'll have a look at that at the end of the race with the race director. So anyway, continuing on, we managed to get in front of him, and this is the very next lap. Hamilton makes a late move up the inside, spins us out. We've lost the place to Perez now, so it's so annoying. It was a late move right at the apex of the corner, and there was almost nothing I could do. By the time I saw him, it was too late, and we turned in, and that was it. While I was ranting there, I think Hamilton got collected by Vettel as well, so he's lost his front wing. I believe Vettel has lost his as well. That's him spun out there, so that's just an absolute comedy of errors. Hamilton lost his front wing. He's going to return to the pits. I don't know if I've got damage, but I'm going to continue on as if I don't. Hopefully it doesn't damage us too much. Perez, as you saw, got in front of us, and only a few laps later we got in front of Perez there, so it looks like the damage for us isn't too bad, but that's so frustrating. I really wanted to have a clean battle with Hamilton, but unfortunately it's been spoiled today. So anyway, we carry on. This is near the end of the race, and I believe we're getting lapped now by Nico Rosberg, who has been supreme all race, pumping in those fastest laps. He was so quick in the wet that by the time we put on the dries, he was leading by like 50 seconds or something like that. So we'll see if we can have a little battle with Nico here, or possibly use him to give the blue flags to cars in front of us and give us some free position. So we'll try and stay in the slipstream of him if we can. Use a DRS. No, the race is over. That was the last lap for me. Okay, so that actually caught me by surprise in the actual moments of the race, and now as well. So that has been the Singapore Grand Prix. We end up in position 5, I believe. Yes, we have Daniel Ricciardo making a late pit stop there, and has given us a free position as well. So that has been a very surprise result, considering we started in P18. We were like 3 seconds slower in the wets, and the majority of the race was spent in wet conditions. So I'll take that. I'll take that as a victory. We've gained points over Hamilton, and with the strict corner cutting rules coming into this race, I was honestly thinking I wasn't gonna finish this race. That's how dire I thought this race was going to be, but we've managed to somehow gain 10 points over Lewis Hamilton in the standings. Yeah, I'm completely shocked. The reason why I wasn't a live com for this race, I was simply concentrating on trying to move forward in this race and actually finish the race itself, because when I do live comms, my accuracy isn't quite as good as what it normally is when I'm fully concentrating on what I'm doing. So that's probably the reason why we got to the end of the race in the end. So that's been this race for today. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Livecom will be back for the next race, which will be the Japanese Grand Prix. So it should be a slightly better race for us performance-wise. In this one, I used no setup. Just wasn't sure on what to do with the setup or anything like that. So today was essentially a recovery drive, and it's turned out to be a very successful race in the end. So driver standings, we are 3rd place now. We dropped a place to Kimi Raikkonen, but crucially, we are so much more closer to the top of the standings now, thanks to Lewis Hamilton's no points run in this race. Nico Rosberg, after winning, is much closer to us as well. So overall, the championship is so much closer now due to the results that happened in this race. So thanks for watching, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed. I'll see you guys for the next race in Japan.